Hello and welcome to the final instalment in this episode of Business Accelerators. All this month we've been looking at the Apple Tree Inn in Donnybrook, Western Australia. It's a bar, restaurant and backpackers bought by Mark Stevens and Lisa Haller in 2012. Now their issue is growing the business by promoting themselves online and via social media. Tim McDougall from Pitcher Partners has been helping them with that strategy. Mark and Lisa, how have Tim's recommendations gone?
So far we've put up a Facebook page, and we've got a Meet the Apple Tree Inn Facebook page, and we've got several likes on that, so we're still tampering with that, but it's been a really good platform for us to actually put across what events are playing here at the Apple Tree Inn, what we have available with regards to our backpackers, advertising for the restaurant, and also advertising for things like karaoke nights and entertainment through the bar.
And how has the response to that been?
Well, it hasn't been overwhelming, but it's been really good because it's actually allowed us to have communication with our customers. So, I mean, we've actually had our page liked and that's all good. We've had no negative feedback on our Facebook page at all. And I think it's just allowing us, it was only in June that we had our first chat, so it's allowed us to really start building a social media strategy. But it's been positive, so that's a good thing. Gives us somewhere to build.
I gather the main thing that we were concerned about is starting off without too much to back it up with. We didn't want to jump both feet in and make it an absolute mess of it. And it's been slowly for us, and it has been working. And business has been slowly growing for us too.
So Tim, what do you think some of the best strategies are to drive that social media engagement beyond just that Facebook page?
Well, I think it sounds like from what they're doing, taking that slowly approach is a good one. They're slowly engaging with their customers and they're getting that insight back about what's working, what's not. They mentioned that they're talking about getting some of their events and some of their activities happening. So I'd encourage them to keep sort of taking that step forward and using the feedback that they're actually getting particularly from channels like Facebook, to work out what's working and what's not and continue to build on it. And
what are some of the lessons you can take from that customer feedback that you can apply?
Yeah, there's a couple of things you can learn. So first part of, I guess, is the message. So, what sort of activities or what sort of events are getting engagement with our customers? So if we talk about the restaurant menu, is that what interests people? Or is it when we've got an event on in the bar, is that what gets people's attention? I guess the second type is what sort of media you're actually using. So is it imagery? Is it video? Is it text? Is it certain times of the day? So all of these sort of things come together to learn, what is it that your audience are actually after, and what will they respond to best.
And one of the things which is quite interesting about their audience is they're trying to attract backpackers. Now, backpackers are very cost conscious. I imagine if you were to ask a backpacker to like you on Facebook for a free beer, for instance, that means that their backpacker mates, say back in Perth, might be able to see Apple Tree Inn as well. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that's obviously one of the advantages of tools like Facebook, is that the ability to get not just to your audience but to the friends of the audience. So certainly starting to come up with some ideas, like you say, whether it's a free beer, but making sure that part of the acceptance of that offer is actually spreading the message. Certainly then you're getting more than just a connection with that one-to-one customer, potentially sharing the message more broadly.
And what's worked best so far?
I would definitely say that the images have worked best for us. So when we're sharing special moments or special people that have been here, they're the things that get commented on and liked. So people are into the action shots.
You've also got plans to start a website. How's that coming along?
We've contracted a gentleman to start on that for us. We've given him some of the action photos and the types of photos that we wanted on the website that Lisa was talking about. For us again, it's been something that we've been tossing up. What's the best type of website, and how to actually portray ourselves, because there is three arms to the business, and I think Tim mentioned that last time he was with us, and working out for us. Because we have the restaurant, we have the bar, and we also have the backpackers, is working out which one of those that we actually really want to focus on.
We ended up putting on all three arms, as we discussed with Tim, and we identified where our business market would be, and what parts of our business were already doing well. We wanted to have a really comprehensive website so it could actually incorporate the bar, the restaurant and the backpackers, but without excluding any individual part of the business. So we didn't want our restaurant to suffer because we were marketing our upstairs backpackers, because our restaurant is quite, I guess, a classy cafe style eatery restaurant, whereas backpackers, as you say, targets more towards the budget market, and our restaurant doesn't necessarily cater there. So they're two quite exclusive arms of the business. The face of our website actually does reflect that very well. So whilst keeping in line with the trendy upmarket bar style restaurant type of facility that we provide, it also has quite a fun action picture down the bottom with a couple of backpackers enjoying their trip, and this would be the place to stay. So it's still it didn't push the budget end of things, which doesn't cheapen our facility, but it did still try and attract the work side of things for backpackers. Like, come here to Donnybrook, there's work available, plus it's got a great lifestyle feel. So that's the community that we're trying to attract the backpackers to, not necessarily the budget end, even though we're competitively priced within the market.
And Tim, one of the big issues you have, of course, with having a website to sell yourself is getting found on Google search, for instance. Given they've got three almost separate markets, does that make it a little bit harder to get found because you're not writing the right content for the right audience?
Look, definitely it adds an extra complexity, I guess, layer of complexity. But I guess as long as that they understand that those are three separate markets and that they focus on each of those individually and work towards that, then there's absolutely no reason that they can't get the same benefit for all three businesses. I think the mistake that people make is trying to merge the three together and creating content that's not necessarily specific or niche for anything, and it becomes very general, and the likelihood of success is probably limited.
Does it make more sense to have three separate websites, one for each audience, or can you do that all within the same website?
Look, I think in terms of, if you're talking SEO, I think Google's smart enough to pick up whether it's one site or three. So I think from a technology perspective, it's probably not really an issue. I think it's much more about the content and the user experience. So, Lisa was just talking about the difference between a backpacker and somebody who goes to their restaurant. I'd be far more worried about the user experience than I would be about how a search engine's going to perceive the website.
For us, with regards to managing the content, that's what we were worried about, and that's why we didn't have three websites. We only had the one, and we tried to incorporate, still keeping the individual arms of the business separate, so still differentiating, but we tried very hard to keep it within the one sort of frame so that we can manage it more easily, especially with the hectic nature of the business for us. So
I think that's half of our problem at this moment, because we're so early in the business. For us, is we're still very much hands-on in the business, and it takes quite a bit of our time up. And for us to be able to manage three websites plus a Facebook page and Twitter and all these other bits and pieces, I think it's a step-by-step case for us that we will probably get to the stage, hopefully we'll get to the stage that we'll be able to employ someone just to be able to keep an eye on all those things for us.
We tried to be proactive, so we've put ourselves on Foursquare's, TripAdvisor and Lonely Planet as well. So they're three more social media marketing sort of tools that we've employed. It's still early days yet, so still yet to see whether we're going to be getting those backpackers in through Lonely Planet. And we also affiliated ourselves with two other sites that are VIP backpackers and base backpackers. So that was actually to give our backpackers a little bit more oomph, sort of to say to travellers, well, we're affiliated with a couple of other associations as well.
Well, it sounds like you've been wonderfully proactive, which is terrific. I guess one of the other things that I'm thinking about right now is that you're a restaurant and a bar and a backpackers, and basically you sell fun for a living, right? So one of the places I guess you can find content is user-generated content. Basically, the people who are at at your bar, uploading their own photos or telling their own stories about where they stayed. Have you thought about getting your customers to start writing and posting on your behalf?
Yes, we have got a couple, only two that I can think of, two customers so far that have said that they've not uploaded pictures, but they've certainly been forthcoming in their comments, and they've actually pushed our Facebook page out to their friends with regards to events. So that's been pretty good. We're pretty happy with that.
Tim, how effective can that be to have user-generated content as the driver of content?
Yeah, well, I think, again, there's two parts to that. I guess the first is actually getting people to make that content for you. So, Lisa's talking about getting some people to upload their own photos or share their events. I think that's one thing. I guess the effectiveness of it, though, is when other people are making the decision to purchase from them. So, one backpacker deciding whether to visit the Apple Tree Inn is much more likely to make a decision based on a previous backpacker's experience than they are on Lisa or Mark making a comment on the Facebook page. So, I think you're absolutely spot on. I guess the goal for them would be absolutely to get that user-generated content being the key to their marketing success.
And have you guys thought about any way that you can encourage people to post on your Facebook page, or even offering discounted rent in the backpackers to some savvy web backpacker or web savvy backpacker to start doing that for you?
I think I actually don't think that's going to be a problem. I think a lot of the customers that we've been here 9 months now, and we're getting to know a lot of the locals, the regulars, and people are actually coming back from quite some distances, even from Perth. They're travelling down, and so I think it's just as simple as actually asking them to do it. And sometimes we think it's very, very hard to get people to do certain things, but at the end of the day, a lot of people, if they're happy with you, have a relationship with you, enjoy coming to the venue and that, they're actually quite happy to help you build your business. And so I gather that's our next step, is to start asking people to do those things.
Especially our younger customers have been really encouraging us with regards to more social media marketing and pushing our events, and we've now started up also, we've used MailChimp, and we started up an email mailing list, and we send out not too many emails, maybe one every fortnight, at the very most one a week, and it'll say, maybe, are you feeling thirsty? Come down for a Palmer and pint on a Friday night for $20. So that's something that we've started. And we had a customer come in and say to us the other day, they were actually in hospital when they received the email, and he says to me, I was so thirsty, I just wanted to come down to the pub for a pint and a Palmer, and I really could have used it right then, so thanks for the email and keeping in touch. So yeah, it's that sort of strategy is also working for us, our email campaigns.
Well, it sounds like you're really well on the way to developing quite a robust digital strategy, and I know that, Tim, you were very impressed with the renovations they'd done at the inn as well. So it sounds like you've got some promising times ahead of you. Well, we wish you all the best in your endeavours. Lisa and Mark, thank you very much, and Tim McDougall from Picture Partner, thank you too.
Thanks.